turn now to one of the nation's top military institutions, where an investigation is underway into what state leaders are calling a, quote, culture of ongoing structural racism, and now a change in leadership. For the first time in the school's nearly 200-year history, a black man is in command at the Virginia Military Institute. Joining me is the new superintendent of VMI, retired Major General Cedric Wins. Thank you so much for being with us. Congratulations. Yes, you are the first black superintendent in the 182-year history of VMI. I know it's a basic journalism question to say, how does it feel? But that is kind of what I want to know. How does that feel?
Well, it's pretty humbling to have the opportunity to come back to your alma mater. I think that would be the case for anyone. So it's pretty humbling. There are a couple things that sometimes I feel like may be a little daunting, but overall, I'm very, very happy to have the support that I'm getting from the folks here at VMI, the Board of Visitors, and the administration.
Happy to be back at your alma mater, but you are there, and I know it can be daunting because you are there to fix things. And some things that this investigation is showing so far in a preliminary report, at least, that are broken. Ongoing structural racism and some of the things they describe, like racial slurs, the N-word, just being commonplace there. A number of women, almost 10%, reporting being sexually assaulted while attending. What has gone so terribly wrong there over the years?
Well, I think the first thing I'd like to do is just make sure that the record is straight. We are undergoing an audit and an investigation, if you will, from the state of Virginia, directed by the governor here. And we are trying to identify the magnitude of how things are happening here, how the culture exists. And trying to get to an understanding of where we might need to make changes. I think that what we've done over the past 6 months that I've been here is to try to identify where those problems exist and the degree to which there might be incidents of racism. And so I'm not at the point where I've determined that structural or systemic racism exists at the school. The school has a long history. To the extent that those events are happening, we take action, and we take action pretty swiftly to deal with those incidents. In the time that I've been here, there have been no acts of racial animus that have been directed or come to my desk.
Not only are you the first black superintendent there at VMI, now there is also the first female commander of the Corps of Cadets. Can you talk a little bit about how important that representation is to the school and to the students who go there?
It reflects how far we've come, the positive changes that have been made at VMI up to this point, and it's a recognition that we continue to move forward and think about how we can create an environment here and make sure our environment is such that any young man or woman who wants to come here for the opportunity to experience this environment and grow and learn has that opportunity, and that they can find their place here.
One last thing, I know it's an important place to you, but put in context how important this place is to all of us, to the country, for VMI, the history that's there, but also for us to have our eyes on it and have you in that place, and to now make sure VMI gets it right. I'm just trying to get you to put kind of VMI in some kind of a historical context for its place, really for all of us.
VMI has produced leaders that have gone on to be general and flag officers. Well over 200, close to 300 general and flag officers have come out of the school as graduates. We've produced 7 Medal of Honor winners that have come out of the school. We've also had 11 Rhodes Scholars that have come out of the school. We've had a number of high distinguished leaders as former Secretary of Defenses, Secretary of the Army, Nobel Peace Prize winners. And so it has a rich history of success in developing people of character who go on and do some very, very important things at some very, very critical times for our nation. So we're very proud of the history.
Well, we wish you continued success in your leadership role there, and we certainly appreciate your time today. Superintendent of the Virginia Military Institute, retired Major General Cedric Wins, thank you very much, and congratulations again.
Thank you.